Alright, Warpugs, today we're checking out something that has been requested so many times, it's silly. This has been a comment in so many videos, it just blows my mind that I haven't gotten around to this yet, but there's kind of a reason for that. I remember when this happened. I remember when Tupac Shakur died. And I remember it was the topic of conversation for weeks and months as far as who did it and why. And yeah, this was so Tupac was massive to the music industry. Okay, massive. A lot of his songs you could play them now and they still have so much relevance, even though it's been almost 30. Oh God, I feel old as dirt. Oh, I feel old. Yeah, it's been that long. We lost a lot of great musicians in the 90s. We lost a lot of great musicians in the 90s, and that's just not even. Kurt Cobain being another great one. And like Kurt Cobain passed, that was another huge thing that everybody was talking about. And then when Notorious B.I.G. died, that was another huge thing. The 90s, like, I will tell you guys this, the 90s to the early 2000s were some of the best musical years that are there. And just so much changed in those years. The advent of grunge. I was a big grunge head. Before that, I was a dirtbag. Just onwards and onwards and onwards. I was never a juggalo. Never. I'm never gonna be one. But guys, okay, so I'm gonna shut up with my nostalgia bait and all this other kind of stuff. This is the forensic ghost of Tupac Shakur. It's a thaumiel, and here's the funny thing. I had no intention of checking this out, and then I was like, if I do another SCP video and I see another person telling me you've got to watch this one, I'm going to lose my mind, because frankly I've been wanting to get around to this one so many times, and this is I have not seen a thaumiel until today. I just finished watching SCP-179 by SCP Illustrated, which is a fantastic thing, fantastic bit of lore, and a great bit of art that you guys need to go check out. And now I'm checking out my second thaumiel in a day, when I don't think I've seen one before this. But if I have, it's been so long ago when I was just learning about object classes and things like that it's completely slipped my mind. Guys, here we go. I'm going to shut up. Let's get into it. 2137. Let's go. Oh. Before I forget and get yelled at, it's done by TheVolgun, if you haven't figured that out yet, guys. It's done by TheVolgun.
Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Dr. Miller, and the SCP we're going to be looking at today is SCP-2137. Object Class: Thaumiel, previously Euclid and Keter. Special Containment Procedures. When not being used, SCP-2137 is to be kept within a typical electronic 10-digit metal safe in the safe wing of Site-23. All digital and wireless broadcast media must be kept at least 100 meters away from SCP-2137. Due to SCP-2137's anomalous effect having been determined to have no ranged limit, digital, wireless, and broadcast media may be used, but should be monitored closely for any appearance of SCP-2137-1 or 2. Other than testing and recording of Track 7, SCP-2137 should be considered an inanimate item without agency of its own, and any demands or threats made by SCP-2137-2 should be ignored. Once a week, SCP-2137 is to be cleaned, and all tracks are to be played in succession with special attention paid to the instance of SCP-2137-1 that replaces Track 7. The names, situations, and anecdotes presented in that instance of SCP-2137-1 must then be reported to 2137 Special Committee, POC-Watch. On the rare occasion that non-Foundation organizations cannot address the situation presented in an instance of SCP-2137-1, 059 has given authorization to activate Mobile Task Force 33-9 to take any and all measures necessary to reach a resolution to the problem. Operational success will be...
They really named the Mobile Task Force the Suge Knights. They really did that. What?
Indicated by a new instance of 2137-1. Personnel who wish to examine or attempt to interact with SCP-2137 must ask Dr. Kiewicz for authorization beforehand, which will then pend 05 clearance. Description: SCP-2137 is a single compact disc copy of Me Against the World, a hip-hop album by the artist Tupac Shakur, released in 1995. Physical examination, as well as laser testing, indicates that the CD was one of the initial release, manufactured and distributed in 1995. Conventional testing of the disc itself reveals identical results to a non-anomalous copy of the album. The case and liner notes have been determined to have no anomalous qualities, and the physical makeup and encoding of the disc appear completely normal. However, upon playing track 7, normally heavy in the game, the listener will encounter an instance of SCP-2137-1. The anomaly takes the form of spontaneously generated, professionally produced songs featuring Tupac Shakur in various styles within the hip-hop genre. Though each instance of SCP-2137-1 generated is unique, they share certain commonalities in terms of subject matter. The central focus of the song...
Okay, so seriously, there was a thing because people after Tupac was murdered, everybody was constantly trying, like, there was a big conspiracy theory if he was actually dead or not, because every few months there would be new tracks released from him. So yeah,
invariably
I love this.
Addresses a crime, almost always a murder or series of murders, and then gives necessary anecdotal evidence or information to correctly identify and prosecute the killer, even going so far as to specify prosecutors or recommend vigilante justice. Though generation of SCP-2137-1 has been determined to have a definite causal nature, the manner in which SCP-2137-1 instances are copied onto SCP-2137 has yet to be ascertained.
Lovely.
SCP-2137-2. The primary voice on the songs, from herein identified as SCP-2137-2, matches cleanly through advanced audio analysis to that of the real Tupac Shakur, who died in 1996, over a year before the recovery of SCP-2137. However, occasionally, on crimes of a particularly complicated or brutal nature, SCP-2137-2 will be joined by other performers, either guest rapping or singing the chorus or bridge. This has included many of Tupac's contemporaries, such as Snoop Doggy Dogg, Nas, No Doubt, Everclear, Weezer, and Busta Rhymes, as well as artists from the 2000s, including Chris Brown, Katy Perry, Lil Wayne, Lady Gaga, Rihanna, the Yin Yang Twins, Drake, Neon Trees, Jet, Jay-Z, Kanye West, and Eminem, usually at the height of their popularity.
Okay.
On a few notable occasions involving long unsolved crimes by still active criminals, there have been guests of a more blatantly anachronistic nature, standouts among whom include Phil Harris, the Andrews Sisters, Frank Sinatra, Buddy Holly, The Who, Elvis Presley, Diana Ross, and the Beatles. Heavily anachronistic guests tend to take the role of primary artist, the song performed in their style, with SCP-2137-2 joining as a rap guest. When contacted, none of these artists had any recollection of recording for or information regarding SCP-2137. The crimes themselves share that they are unsolved, or in some cases, have escaped detection entirely. The majority of instances of SCP-2137-1 address crimes of private citizens, such as serial killers, spree murderers, or career criminals, though occasionally the songs will address larger groups, such as Hamas, ISIS, the IRA, and even in 2 separate instances, the Chaos Insurgency and the Church of the Broken God. A prototypical example of SCP-2137-1 is included here for reference. This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, Log 542.
Now I gotta be doing detective work.
Really?
After all this time, huh? Jeffrey Gertz still stalking at night. Killed his brother and some strangers with the same damn knife. Right. It's not in my plans to tell you what to do. I know what I would do if I was you. He hit the blade in the barn off North 111. He already killed 6, don't make it 7. Don't make it 7. Be careful and play it smart.
That was a pretty good impersonation of him, I gotta be honest.
When the crimes have been addressed and the guilty parties brought to light, either by the legal system or otherwise, SCP-2137-1 is immediately replaced by a new instance. However, the track is easily recorded through conventional means. Recorded versions are not subject to change or replacement, and the original can be replayed from the CD endlessly before the killer is found with no or little variation.
Okay.
There are currently nearly 1,000 instances of SCP-2137-1 on record.
Okay.
Initial recovery log. SCP-2137 was recovered in the home of Avon Lincoln, arrested for the vigilante slaying of Michael Ferris, who was later revealed to have been the Ojai Strangler responsible for 6 murders over the summer of 1996. Avon's insistence that Tupac Shakur spoke to him from beyond the grave and told him he had to take justice into his own hands because Ferris's position as district attorney would prevent a fair trial drew the attention of Foundation agents after the song in question was produced as evidence in court. Amnestics were administered to all involved, and Lincoln was released back into the general population.
Well, hey, there you go. At least there's that. Good, good, nice.
Addendum 1A, the XK incident. Initially, researchers experimented with anonymously tipping off local police departments through Foundation plants, which led to the resolution of over cold cases, including the recovery of SCP, and SCP-617, though no direct link has been established other than the murders involved. However, after years, this use of the SCP was deemed impractical. Repeatedly addressing the crimes discussed in 2137's music was, in practice, allowing the SCP to dictate the circumstances of its containment, and under the wrong circumstances, opened the Foundation to potential exposure through continuous interaction with law enforcement at all levels across multiple governments. In response to this, 059 ceased addressing the crimes in late 2000. After 2 months passed, SCP-2137's behavior radically changed when, for the first time, an instance of SCP-2137-1 was produced that revealed SCP-2137-2 had an awareness of its containment. This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, Log 851.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all about that thug life. West side.
I'm loving this.
West side.
I'm loving it. I'm absolutely loving it.
You already know. You said you all about security, but you not good guys. You redact and expunge, man, your silence is lies. You said you here to protect, but the killers weren't free. Don't let me show you how rough this outlaw can be. You couldn't stop the beast, so don't you start that struggle. You better watch your tone, unless you looking for trouble. Man, you need to fall back and let me do my duty. Locked in the drawer, feeling like you trying to screw me. You try to step up on my legacy. You don't believe that I'm Tupac, I'm not just a CD.
The decision was made to halt testing entirely rather than acquiesce. After 1 week passed, an instance of SCP-2137-1 appeared spontaneously on the YouTube channel of Los Angeles-based hip-hop station, and in the lone hour before it was taken down, accrued over views.
I'm loving
XK
this.
scenario incident. The image displayed on the video was a still photograph, apparently authentic, though its nature is highly anomalous. The photograph is of Shakur, estimated to be in his early 40s. It would be wise to note, at the time of his murder in 1996, Shakur was 25 years old, wearing the garb of Foundation D-Class personnel with his middle fingers raised. The accompanying song titled focused on SCP, revealing its actual location and means by which it could be broken free of current containment procedures, and identified several members of the O5 Council by their first names, as it described the function and nature of the Foundation. In a massive sweeping operation involving activation of multiple task forces across continents, all trace of the video was erased and all viewers were administered Class A amnestics.
What?
Midway through this operation, an entire album titled XK Scenario was released to the iTunes account of Beyonce Knowles. Each song featured SCP-2137-2 as well as a variety of guest artists, and focused on a different Keter-class SCP currently in captivity. Though SCP tracking bots were able to bring XK Scenario down only after downloads, complete digital eradication of the individual files has proven difficult. Though no loss of life or property was incurred, the sheer scale of the danger posed by this containment breach prompted a Foundation-wide state of high alert. This prompted an ongoing upgrade to all automatic SCP firewalls and engendered the reclassification of SCP-2137 from Euclid to Keter. The breach sparked heated debate as to how to proceed with the containment of and conceptual understanding regarding SCP-2137, which came to an end upon the appearance of a new instance of SCP-2137-1. This instance was produced spontaneously through the mouth of SCP, which appeared to fall into a trance
Please tell me it was Pesterbot. Please tell me it was Pesterbot.
state during the incident, with the lyrics in totality repeatedly written in what was identified as 117,000 times all over the interior of its containment chamber.
Wow.
This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, Log 564.
Here I am. Y'all must have lost your goddamn mind. You motherfuckers can't see me.
I'm loving this.
I'm everywhere. Thug life. Help me find my killers and not find yours. Try not to play the CD. You starting the war. You don't really wanna see me in flesh. I wouldn't hesitate to put you little nerves to rest. So feel my power. What if I told you that the plan did all? What if the world knew the was bound to fall? They'll try to blame me cause you need me inside. You was the reason had died. I would never let up. Was a setup. Tell to keep his head up. 19 and not what it seems. I'm everywhere and I can't be touched. And if you think about a plan, I'ma fuck shit up. You try to hide it, but I see it all. Now I'm coming for your head like I'm Tylenol. You don't wanna fall. Dressed in black like you can't be seen. I ride alone, I don't need no team. Yeah, so do your job, cause I'm giving you tips and put that whole CD in the mix. Biatch.
The decision was made to resume the former
loving
method of
it.
testing involving the embedded informants used to relay SCP-2137's evidence and information, while continuing to study the method in which SCP-2137 transmits its broadcasts in
Right.
an effort to truly contain it completely. SCP-2137-2 resumed its previous behavioral pattern, SCP-2137-1's focusing on crimes until their killers are located by conventional law enforcement, with the exception of one final track. At this time, its last recorded direct interaction with the Foundation. This is an excerpt from SCP-2137-1, Log 565.
See? I knew y'all get me. Listen, y'all cannot afford to lose. And y'all will lose going against me. So it's only right. It's only right. But now that we're on the same page,
I'm loving this.
that's what I got for y'all. I guess it took time for it to sink in. I'm just glad you understood what I was thinking. I just knew you come around, so you see it now. And ain't no need to get upset or even throw down. You know I got the crown. I see it's hard to get some sleep at night. You got a head full of grapes and your skin ain't tight. So let's be real and ain't no need to fight it. There's a grander design, I bet you gonna like it. It's black and white, so don't get caught up in the deep thoughts. You got my music on the side with a greater force. You got my music on the side with a greater force.
Okay.
Investigation into any kind of link or pattern between the crimes SCP-2137 solves is ongoing, as is interest to why it doesn't use its agency to pursue the criminals in question rather than working through proxies.
Memorandum. Email from Site 515, Director Dr. Gwen Pristine, to O5 Council, regarding Tupac. This will be the 5th time I have written to propose an update to SCP-2371. When they enter our program here at Site 515, researchers, engineers, MTF troops, and even D-Class all walk in the door having read the official documentation, and believe the Foundation has been essentially blackmailed into cooperation with the devious SCP. But everyone who actually works here knows this is no longer the case. In the nearly 3 decades since Containment, the Foundation's collaboration with SCP-2137 has led to recovery of dozens of SCPs. Our mobile task forces have deposed dictators and toppled tyrants, chased down rogue reality benders from 3 Portlands to Lamplight. This, of course, all adjacent to the arrest or end of nearly 30,000 murderers. To add some perspective here, a serial killer hasn't made it past their 3rd victim anywhere on Earth in 14 years. SCP-2137 has produced over 40,000 unique pieces of music. Function at Site 515 has become effectively frictionless. First, it was just the Suge Knights, but as we became more effective at addressing SCP-2137's instruction, another MTF joined, then an elite division. Which brings us up to the present, where the 5 mobile task forces under my command are in constant action against forces all over the planet Earth and beyond, all under the guidance of detailed strategy provided by the mysterious music from a compact disc that the Foundation has failed to adequately contain. A silent, undocumented understanding has grown among us. The SCP does not simply catch murderers. It directly and aggressively searches out anything that maliciously takes a human life. The amount of lives saved and untold disasters that have been prevented through the information 2137 supplies are at this point stupefying to contemplate, much less that it has been able to essentially bully us into a pattern of unilaterally heroic expenditures of Foundation resources. It's little wonder that we show the highest numbers globally in Foundation morale test. It makes sense, of course. Here at Site 515, the SCP Foundation is a fast-action team of gunslinging heroes, smashing cults, blowing away terrorists, and catching murderers and monsters in our spare time as we blast rap music out of a landing attack hovercraft, or working behind the scenes, turning local cops into super sleuths and vigilantes into heroes. But this period, as productive as it's been, has been intellectually stagnant. Throughout all of this, the motives and origin of 2137 remain a mystery, defying every search for a pattern, every algorithm-driven analysis. The research wing of the site has become a ghost town, as the MTF response barracks have grown to dominate everything, and perhaps rightfully so. But a few young researchers have diligently continued to hunt for meaning, for greater truth behind SCP-21371. An unexpected advance in this area is behind the urgency in my message to you today. It had long been understood that the life of the actual Tupac Shakur held little information or relevance toward the mystery of SCP-2137's existence. This has potentially changed. Researcher Mariha Kozlovich recently came across an unreleased interview with Shakur from 1994, 2 years before his death and 3 before the discovery of SCP-2137. The interview was buried by his managers because there was anxiety about Shakur's mental state in the footage, because he was speaking what they called nonsense. I think you will agree that while Mr. Shakur may not have been speaking clearly, what he
What is this happening here? Let's go.
actually says is very possibly of vital interest to the
I've loved
Foundation,
this so far.
and very definitely not nonsense. I feel we may finally have, if not an answer, the beginnings of one. But I can say with certainty that in my entire time at the Foundation, I have never personally felt this excited. So I start my proposal here. A Keter-level object actively interested in aiding the human race is not a Keter-level object at all. I am officially resubmitting my proposal for SCP-2137 to at long last be redesignated a Thaumiel-class object, and for a quadrupling of our research team and a site resource allocation. We must tug this thread and see where it leads us. Perhaps after hearing the audio attached, you will finally agree. Dr. Gwen Pristine, Site Director, 515.
Document. Recover.
I am loving this twist. I'm loving this twist. This has gone from being funny to being flat out awesome. This has gone from being a funny SCP, you know, that kind of pulled on like a historical conspiracy theory and just made it into something else. Now it's different. Now this is getting cool. Let's go.
Covered footage 1L. Tupac Shakur, dressed casually, sits on a large red couch, smoking a marijuana cigarette, hunched forward and visibly intoxicated, with drooping eyes and slightly slurred speech. He seems happy and jovial and laughs often through the interview, despite repeatedly becoming distracted by the presence of his entourage dancing and talking in the room. His director and videographer Gobi Rahimi sits nearby, and VH1 interviewer Mila Vendi, also visibly intoxicated, sits nearby. The relevant portion begins 9 minutes and 14 seconds into the interview.
VH1, guys. I remember VH1.
People ask me where I get my inspiration from. They say, how do you go so hard and put in that much work? But what they don't understand is this is me taking a break. This is me on vacation. I think some people would say that was irresponsible. To just sit back, be human for a while, be an artist, experience that. I can't be chasing the king all the time. I feel like I've been doing that forever to protect you, all of you. He's not so big, and you're not so small. But he's gotta trick you like it doesn't matter, because that's the only way that he can keep it looking like he's the man. Like he's some big bad evil motherfucker. You don't see that when I die, I'll live on. My death is my destiny. And then I become something else. What I was before. The voice will still shout, and it'll shout justice and poetry and art and music. I got you. I got you, humanity. When I eventually go toe-to-toe and brawl with this fool, he's gonna gather up his little red dress and go home crying like a bitch, and he knows it. Evil knows his days are numbered. So the king is still running. The chase isn't over. Prepare. Prepare. Prepare.
He's talking about the Scarlet King. Tupac Shakur is talking about the Scarlet King.
Working for a foundation such as this, it's kind of heartwarming to see that not every anomalous entity out there is malevolent. For once, a Thaumiel-class object that can't be contained is kind of a good thing. Maybe most people disagree with me. Who knows? Anyway.
That is awesome.
I think that about does it for today. Thank you all for listening, if indeed you still are, and you are all dismissed. Goodbye.
I didn't expect that. I didn't expect that at all. I didn't expect that at all. That was actually something quite different. That was actually something quite different. Whoever he got to do the voice was very, very close. Oh my god. So So Tupac Shakur is fighting the Scarlet King. I have nothing. I can see why you guys wanted me to watch this so bad now. This is outstanding. I love how it started off being this fun SCP, which kind of it pulled from conspiracy theories about Tupac Shakur's death and him not really being dead. It pulled from that. It pulled from other areas, and then at the end, it turns into this massive thing, just massive for lore reasons and just basic understanding reasons, where Tupac Shakur was actually, he took a I love it. I absolutely love it. This was in every sense of the word. Oh, this is every single SCP is awesome. I can't say that enough. This was this is in the top 10. This is in the top 10 now, because just that just the continuous twisting at the end, and then all of a sudden you get to the end, it's like bam, this is how much good this thing has done. And then you find out that it's fighting the Scarlet King. That puts him in the same territory as 999. That is amazing, guys. Oh, thank you guys for watching this with me. This was made by TheVolgun. All of his links are going to be in the description down below. I highly recommend you subscribe to him as an SCP creator because he is awesome. This is flat out impressive. And the sheer fact there was a line in there about blasting rap music out of a lander, I am just, that whole last part was just absolutely outstanding. That whole last part was just absolutely amazing. Oh my god. This is it started off so innocently, and then it became just like, it started off innocently, and then it continued to evolve, and just got to this heartwarming thing, and then all of a sudden it became awesome. It just became awesome. Okay. What was that thing that you said? Like, I'm just backing this up. This is so insane on so many levels, and it's so just amazing. I love this. I love this. Highest number of morale tests at Site 515. Fast action team of gunslinging heroes, smashing cults, blowing away terrorists, and catching murderers and monsters in our spare time as we blast rap music out of landing attacked hovercraft. I love it. Guys, I don't know what else to say. This was an excellent, excellent, excellent SCP for me to watch. Good and heartwarming. I'm actually amazed that I watched 2 Thommules on the same day, because I don't think I've seen one until now. I could be wrong about that. I could be completely wrong about that. You guys know me. My memory is terrible. But it is what it is. In any case, guys, be sure to leave a like on this video and comment down below. Check out my links below, the Discord, everything else like that, and I will see you guys next time. Oh my god, I love SCP.